Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. Let's get started. 1-0 to the Arsenal against Watford yesterday on Sunday. A really interesting game, a hard-fought game. Both teams obviously with plenty of chances. Of course, Arsenal with the abundance of chances. Missed penalty, two disallowed goals. Overall, a deserved win, of course, for Arsenal at the end of the day. So, um, that win now takes us to 10 unbeaten in all competitions. Of course, eight of those in the Premier League, six wins, two draws. So you have to say things really looking on the up for Arsenal at the moment, up to fifth place from bottom of the table, rock bottom. And when we say rock bottom, I mean no goals scored, nine conceded. Those losses to Brentford, Chelsea, and Manchester City. Now, the of course winners of the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur, down in maybe seventh, ninth place. I'm not too sure at this moment in time where they are. Not too much of a concern for me. Of course, Manchester United also title contenders, sixth, just under Arsenal. So people love to slate this team and talk about this manager and the players and what they lack. But at the moment, Arteta, his coaching staff, and these Arsenal players are shutting all those pundits up and really showing the type of performances that they can give. And I have to say, as a fan, this is the last thing I was expecting to see. But it's not. It's not all great. This will come to an end eventually, and it could have been today. I think just touching on that Ramsdale mistake was pretty tricky. Perhaps a more talented player might have buried that, but you can't really say too much against Joshua King. It was a really awkward angle. But yeah, let's get started and let's start digging into it. Like I said, of course, the longest unbeaten run now after that Liverpool loss yesterday against West Ham. Really impressive performance from West Ham. Of course, went 3-1 up actually against Liverpool. And Divock Origi scored that second goal just to bring it back. But West Ham got the win in the end, moved above Liverpool now, third place. Liverpool fourth, of course, Arsenal fifth place. And all the other teams below us, I couldn't care less about. Now, the next fixtures that we have, of course, is going to be Liverpool on the 20th. Liverpool away at Anfield. Of course, Arsenal always struggle at Anfield. It's going to be Liverpool away, Newcastle home, Manchester United away, Everton away, Southampton at home in the cup game, and West Ham at home. So you have to expect, most of those games are winnable games, and this has to be the best time of all to play Liverpool. I think they've gotten 1 point out of two games: draw against Brighton, loss against West Ham, and perhaps they're going to be looking for a fight back. Of course, they're going to be wanting to get back to winning ways. And Arsenal. This is not the pushover team that we saw at the beginning of the season, and maybe halfway through last season also when we were struggling. We found our form. We found this kind of these players who seem to be irreplaceable, really. Of course, with the exception of Thomas Partey, out injured with a groin injury. We'll talk about that a bit later on in the video. But Ainsley Maitland-Niles came in here and what a performance from him. Man of the match actually given to him from Sky Sports. Man of the match for Ainsley Maitland-Niles there in that midfield alongside the ever impressive Sambi Lokonga. So fantastic job to him. I was sad, of course, when I saw Thomas Partey not on the team sheet. You had to think, oh, geez, here we go again. But tight groin doesn't seem to be the issue that he's had, the ongoing issue that he's had since he's been here. I think it's a calf or thigh issue. So hopefully Thomas Partey will be back soon and back to full fitness. Unsure about him going away with Ghana. Not too sure what's going to be happening with that. I've been trying to get updated with it. Charles Watts, I think, most recently has said in his video today that it's still uncertain what the injury is. Of course, by the time you see this video, if anyone does see this video, could all be resolved and we'll know the full extent of the injury. But yeah, let's about the Liverpool game, and like I said, it is a great time, I think, to play them. Perhaps not. It's never a great time to play Liverpool, but now is the best as any. We really are in form. Of course, 10 unbeaten, like I said at the start of the video, and Liverpool struggling a bit at the moment. We've found our form and the players that we want to be in that starting 11. And so we'll see how that goes on the 20th of November. Talk about the players here. Ramsdale, just want to say, I did touch on his mistake earlier on in the game. Perhaps a bit lucky, a bit of confusion there with Benjamin White. He came out and it seemed like he must have called for the ball because White had just stopped and just a bit of miscommunication. There's going to be that. Ramsdale, as impressive as he has been, it's going to happen. And I think he deserves that luck not to concede the goal there. A tough game, a very, very tough game. And we deserve to get that 3 points. And that's really what it's about. You go there and 2 disallowed goals, a penalty save from Aubameyang, and we still come away with the 3 points. So, that's what you need when you have these tough games against a struggling team like Watford, who are just going to be pulling at every string they can. And I'm going to touch a bit later on about the Claudio Ranieri, the bitching and moaning that went on about Arsenal supposed to play the ball out, and I think he said that where everyone was expecting that to happen, and I think I'm not sure he called Arsenal classless, but there was a bit of a dig at Arsenal, and it's totally uncalled for. I'll get into that later on, and stuff like that really, really boils my blood, and I was extremely unhappy to see that from Claudio Ranieri, and it really pissed me off. So I'll talk about that in a bit. Just want to talk a little bit more about Ramsdale here. Aaron Ramsdale, the Arsenal number 1. He has more clean sheets. Now, there's a stat. More clean sheets now in the Premier League, 5 clean sheets, than goals conceded, which is 4. So he's conceded 4 goals, still unbeaten in 9 games played for Arsenal. So, I mean, that is impressive. You have to say, of course, that one game was the cup game and the unbeaten in 10, in 8 in the Premier League. So hats off to him, man. Totally deserved. And they're not games that you say he didn't have a lot to do, with the exception of Watford. He's always there making saves. Everything he's been doing has been spot on. Of course, the exception with the mix-up with Benjamin White yesterday. But you know what? He deserves that luck, and well done to him, man. Very, very good job. I'm really, really just impressed every game by Aaron Ramsdale, and the charisma that he brings, the characteristics that he brings to this side. You see him. I think he went to Aubameyang after the penalty miss a little later on, and just sort of bigged them up, and that's it's just I can't stress enough the importance of players like this in squads. You see players like Connor Cody in the England squad didn't play a minute, I think, at the Euros, but Gareth Southgate's saying how important he is, what an important figure he is, for that team, just because of what he brings, personality, and the things that I think fans don't really, really see what goes on behind the scenes. And of course, Benjamin White snubbed a lot of English fans. I see a lot of what I've seen on Twitter is that he's being snubbed, and Tyrone Mings called up, Connor Cody called up. It's not really any of my business. I'm not an English football fan. Of course, I look after the U.S. men's national team, so this really doesn't concern me too much. I think, of course, Benjamin White would love to be called up and to be playing for England, and maybe it's a bit selfish of me. Of course, I was saying this also about Emile Smith-Rowe, who I'll get into again a bit later on, who was just called up. I think a couple players pulled out, James Ward-Prowse, I think, and Marcus Rashford, both through injury. So he got his first senior call-up, and congratulations to him. But it's brilliant. It's fantastic for him to have. I mean, with the 12 months that Emile Smith-Rowe's had has been fantastic for him. I'm really, really happy for him. Of course, my only concern was that it's a lot of football being played, injuries. You're always scared of injuries on international breaks, players going away. An important player like Emile Smith-Rowe, of course, Bukayo Saka as well, super, super important to this team. But, the role he plays for England, Bukayo Saka, is really, really important as well. So, of course, you have to make those, compromises, and I understand that, of course. But, Benjamin White not being called up, I was thinking before this video was being made, I was writing my notes, and Jesus Christ, I have a lot of notes. So bear with me, please, guys, if you are watching, if you've gotten this far. Gabriel's also been called up for Brazil, first senior call-up for him, so congratulations to Gabriel, totally deserved. Fantastic call-up for him. I'm sure he's going to do really well for the Brazil national team. And he's got a chance to learn now. Thiago Silva, I think, must have been called up also, so it'll be good for him to learn a little bit there. And Of course, I was going to say there was 2 weeks there where Benjamin White and Gabriel were going to be able to work together, in training ahead of that Liverpool match. But the partnership they've worked on already this season has been brilliant. I think a little post from Gabriel on Instagram, my center back, a couple of pictures of him and Benjamin White. That's nice to see. And really, things are coming together for Arsenal. The way players are getting together, the personalities that you see, the friendships being formed. It's brilliant, man. It really, really is. And it makes me excited to watch Arsenal. I am excited for the Liverpool game. And if we do lose, which I think a lot of people are expecting us to, we have a chance, man. We really do. I do believe we have a chance to win. And if we do lose, I think Dan on AFTV, I want to say, and forgive me if I got it wrong, if we do lose, don't make it a 4-0 thrashing. 1-0, 2-1, no mistakes. There's ways to lose. Football fans, we talk about this all the time. There's ways to lose, and it's not like the Man City game. So we'll see what happens there. So congratulations to those players, Gabriel for Brazil and Emile Smith-Rowe, of course, for England. Now, just want to talk here about Claudio Ranieri, about the Arsenal goal from Smith-Rowe. He had a lot to say. You could see after the game that he was talking to Mikel Arteta for a while, and just, look, a manager I have a lot of respect for, of course, what he did at Leicester, long history in the Premier League, of course, his time at Chelsea. Very good manager, great guy, super likable guy, but this was just trash, what he was saying. Calling Arsenal out for, I think, being unsportsmanlike. And, I mean, the player at fault here is not Ainsley Maitland-Niles. It's not Benjamin White who made the run or Emile Smith-Rowe who scored the goal. It's Ismail Sarr. Okay, this guy flops. You lose the ball. You make contact with Emile Smith-Rowe right outside your penalty at box. Right? You're right there. You lose the ball. Excuse me. Perhaps he didn't have possession of the ball. He slams in Ainsley Maitland-Niles. They run into each other. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is not flopping, looking for a foul. Would have been a great position to have a free kick. Would have been a fantastic position. Gets up. The ball gets played. Benjamin White does a little dance, tippy toe, tricky finger, tricky feet, and the ball falls to Emile Smith-Rowe. He puts the ball away. And the whole time, this player, Ismail Sarr, is just laying on the ground face down. If that was me, if that was a player on my team, I would be fuming that this guy has the balls to lay face down like this as the ball is being played around him. No foul. Whatever happened to playing the whistle? I mean, it's a joke. It's pathetic. This guy, I mean, I know Robbie from AFTV said he thinks he's good enough to play for Arsenal. Not for me. After seeing that, I don't want this. I would never want a player like that to play for Arsenal. And don't call me biased. I'm not. If this was an Arsenal player who's done it when they have, and I've called them out, Lacazette, very, very guilty of play acting. Very guilty of it. I call it out every time I see it. It's disgusting behavior. I live in the States. I'm American. I have to deal with this American football fans who tell me that soccer is a soft sport, football is a soft sport, and I have to defend it. And when I see shit like this, that this player did, it's disgusting. It's absolutely pathetic behavior. So Claudio Ranieri, instead of calling out Arsenal for playing that and scoring a goal they deserved because of the build-up and the pressure they're putting on, he should be. I would put this guy on the bench indefinitely. I would put him on the bench until he proved to me he's got the balls to step up and fight. Especially doing it there. I mean, if it's in the midway and the player's down, he's holding his head or whatever it is, but we're on the attack. We're not just on the attack, we are attacking. I mean, we have a chance to score a goal, we score it. And this behavior, I mean, I cannot stress enough how disgusting it is. It's fucking pathetic seeing that. And I'm telling you, I was more happy that we scored the goal because he was face down like that. I wanted the cameraman not to focus on Emile Smith-Rowe celebrating. I wanted the camera to go to this dipshit's face when he heard that net wrestle. When that ball hit that net, I wanted to see his face on the camera and to see what a dipshit he probably felt like. Unbelievable. Like, I seriously, it boils my blood. And Claudio Ranieri calling out Arsenal, calling out Mikel Arteta after the game, telling him what should have happened. Complete bullshit. And there's a quote here I just want to read that Arteta did say about the game. About the goal. He said, "I have to defend my players, my team, and my club. We are the most honest of all of them," which I agree with. Of course, Arsenal, very, very classy club. We have a manager here who respects that. He said, if he felt like that, I apologize, but there was no intention to take an advantage. And he's absolutely right. I could go through these comments and, dude, I could make a whole video about how pathetic it is from that player, Ismail Sarr, to do something like that. A complete joke. No balls. You talk about cojones. I mean, pathetic. That this guy should be fucking ashamed of himself. I've never sworn as much in a video as I have in this. I try to keep it as professional as I can. I mean, I'm no professional, but obviously swearing isn't what people really like to hear. But what a joke, this guy, man. Pathetic. Absolutely shameful to see that. And for the manager to take it out on Arsenal, joke. Complete joke. All right, let me move on from the rant and talk about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Really, really good game from him. Fantastic game from him in there in that midfield, playing that Thomas Partey role alongside Sambi Lokonga. Of course, won the Sky Sports Man of the Match, so fantastic for him, and really, really, really impressive in that midfield. And key parts, that first goal that was disallowed, just a nice little, almost a chip through that defense. And breaking up the play, of course, with the tackle before that, and really, really impressed. So seeing the depth now that the Arsenal midfield, I think you have, maybe lacking a bit of depth in that right back position. No Bellerin, Tomiyasu, God forbid he gets injured, because that's another player who was just monumental today in the win. The aerial duels that he won, going forward a couple times, just really, really, really impressive. Love Tomiyasu, man. I mean, what a signing. Turned down Spurs as well, so, I mean, get fucked. Get fucked. I'll just keep swearing. Might as well at this point. For me, though, I have to say my man of the match was Benjamin White. Just brilliant. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong today. Excuse me, I'm just scrolling through notes. There's a lot to say about Benjamin White. The block that he had when Sambi Lokonga sort of got put on toast there, I think right before halftime, and the block from Benjamin White was brilliant. The build up to the goal, the way he shimmied around that player, and of course got a bit lucky. It came out the defender and dropped to Emile Smith-Rowe, but he put it away, and it's a shame he won't get an assist for that, but totally deserved. So whenever I do see a Benjamin White assist or stats and it says 1, I'll always give him 2, or I'll always give him +1, and that's just what I'm going to do from now on. So great game from Benjamin White, my man of the match. In fact, he had the most touches, 101, most passes, 81, most clearances in 6, most blocks in 3, and most interceptions in 2 interceptions. So, really, really impressive. That £50 million price tag looking more and more justified as the weeks go on. So the video is getting pretty long here. I'm up to 18 minutes. Tomiyasu, like I said, massive game from him. I just want to talk about Odegaard when he came on. Unlucky not to get the goal. Aubameyang had a bit of a stinker. I think missed another penalty. A great save from Ben Foster. A great save. Could have gone in. He blocked it really with an arm and a leg. So it was a great save. Kind of a poor penalty from Aubameyang, and you have to say that's 2 misses in a row now. I'm not too sure if Lacazette should be put on penalty duty. He won the penalty, and Danny Rose, I mean, don't get me started. These fucking Watford players, man, could have been sent off. I mean, 4 fouls, not a single yellow card. I think Arsenal had 4 fouls and 3 at one point. So, not the referee didn't have a horrible game or anything, but it just things like that. I mean, and I think he was looking at the ball, Danny Rose, when he went in. It was a penalty, in my opinion. I think absolutely stonewall pen. Just basically threw his elbow in there, like I said, the side of his head. So I'm not sure what he was doing there, eyes on the ball or not. I mean, completely, barged into him. So, Aubameyang, but he didn't. The important thing is that he didn't put his head down. I think after the Odegaard non-goal, he was laying there on the ground and just sort of smiled, and you could see he's just sort of laughing to himself, like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, what have I done?" So it's nice to see he wasn't really getting himself down, and we know Aubameyang, light spirits and a really, really happy guy, and hopefully him and Odegaard can joke around a little bit like that. Really reminded me of the Ronaldo, non-goal against Spain all those years ago. That Nani, I don't know what Nani was thinking there, because that would have been such a brilliant goal for Ronaldo. But yeah, it kind of threw back to that. Reminded me of that. Lacazette, I talked a little bit about. Brilliant game from him. Brilliant from Lacazette. Came off really, really relishing in that role, that front two. He does kind of play that false 9 or not false 9, but that number 10 role, and so good at holding up the play. Like I said, really, really relishing in that role. Brilliant from him. No sign of signing a new contract. Surely he's going to be off in the summer. Hopefully it's not January, because it doesn't seem like anything's going to be lined up for a replacement. And would you replace? You'd have to buy in a striker. Of course, bring in a striker this summer. Now, so would it be in January? There's talks about loan move for the Florentina striker. I can't remember his name at the moment, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I mean, I've talked about ESR and Gabriel getting their call-ups. Thomas Partey, unsure what's going to happen with him, of course, with Ghana. And Kieran Tierney looks to be going away with Scotland. So good luck to all of them. That's it for Arsenal, of course. U.S. men's national team. Big game on Friday, man, against Mexico qualifying. And I will be watching that game at a bar, actually, with a couple of the lads from work. So I'm going to be watching that game. It's going to be a great time. One of my friends from Mexico is going to be there with me. A couple neutrals. So we'll see. I will be covering that game, of course. Both games on the international break I will be covering. So any interest in that, please do keep an eye out for future videos. Any video in general, guys, I always say this. I would love to have someone on, have a discussion about whether it's Arsenal, Premier League in general, U.S. men's national team, whatever it is, man. Come and join me. Let me know. Give me a comment down below or on Twitter, of course. I'll have the link to my Twitter down there in the description. This was a long video. Thanks very much if you stuck around for this long or at any point clicked on the video, skipped around. Whatever you did, I really appreciate you watching if you have, and I will see you guys when I see you.